So I really like exercises that are unassuming. They look really simple, but they're actually brilliant in terms of the huge variety of different benefits they offer. There are a few exercises that look more simple but offer more incredible depth than the 100 up or high knees. Essentially, jogging on the spot. It seems almost too simple to be worth anything, but in fact, it can help you to prevent injuries, it can improve your running form, it has tons of athletic benefits, you can do it anywhere, and it's so versatile it can be combined with all kinds of other moves in a wide variety of different ways. So what's the 100 up? Essentially, it's running on the spot, except you're raising your knees a little bit higher than you normally would. There are two variations, the 100 up minor and the 100 up major. The minor version is a much slower exercise where you carefully raise each leg and then place it back down before lifting the other, and the major is slightly faster. So I'll show you them side by side. Here is the minor. And the major. And the third variant is high knees, where you're going to be bringing the knees up much higher, and at the same time you're going to be completely minimizing the ground contact time, making it a more plyometric exercise, and at some points you should have both feet raised off the ground. That looks like this. So of course the first and obvious reason that a lot of people like the 100 up or high knees is just that it's a good way to burn calories that doesn't require a lot of space and that literally anybody can do. It's like running in that it's a full body movement and you're in continuous motion, and this means that you're going to burn a fair amount of calories. It's a very efficient way to do that. Of course the problem with running is that you need a big open space to run around in, and if it's raining or if you just don't fancy it, it can be pretty hard dragging yourself out the door to do that. The 100 up is something you can do in front of the television, and in that regard it's very similar to skipping, except the difference here is that you don't need a rope which can smash things in your living room, and trust me, I'm speaking from experience. You can make the 100 up even more of a full body workout, by the way, by also holding dumbbells at the same time as you're running, and that's going to work the upper body a little bit more. If you're doing high knees, it's like sprinting, and you can burn the equivalent number of calories this way. The high knees variant is particularly good if you want something for a high intensity interval training program, or if you want to use it as part of a circuit alongside things like push-ups and bodyweight moves. So yeah, fantastic for burning calories. If you're doing the minor version, this is pretty much the equivalent of going for a gentle walk, and if you're doing the major version, it's like a light jog. And this is actually something that a lot of people interested in strength training in particular need to consider more. This is a really great form of low intensity cardio. Of course you have things like burpees that you can use, or kettlebell swings at home if you want to burn calories quickly, but they're all pretty intensive and high impact and they aren't suitable for everyone. 100 ups or just jogging on the spot are perfect because they allow you to burn calories in a way that's really low impact and really easy. But at the same time, this kind of low intensity, very low intensity cardio is actually really good for all sorts of things. And if you're someone who builds a lot of strength, then you can use this as a great way to enhance your recovery. Going for walks, going for light jogs, and doing the 100 up all help to increase blood flow and circulation around the body. This can actually accelerate healing and reduce DOMS and help you to grow back thicker and stronger after a big workout the day before. What's more is that in the long term, this kind of exercise can strengthen the heart, it can improve your Qmax, which means that you'll always be delivering more blood around your body, and it can even improve capillarization. That means you'll form new blood vessels, supplying the muscles with blood so that they get more energy and more nutrients both during training and during recovery. So you'll be able to train for longer and you'll recover faster. And it'll even accelerate the removal of waste products that build up in the muscles and that lead to fatigue. So don't think that because you're this high caliber athlete, you don't need really low intensity cardio. What we really want to be trying to do is getting exercise that fits everywhere on this spectrum. And just standing in front of TV and doing some slow high knees is a great way to just burn a few calories, get the blood circulating. It's also a fantastic option for incidental training. You guys know I like to break my training up throughout the day to train whenever the opportunity presents itself. You can use this in front of the TV, like I say. You can get up and do a few whilst your computer's loading, or just for a 10-minute stint. You can even use this in the bank whilst you're in a queue, although you probably will get some weird looks, and Not even I am probably weird enough to try that one out. Of course, the minor 100 up is also fantastic for anyone who has hip issues, hip stability issues, who's recovering from injury, especially a running related injury. This is a great way to strengthen those muscles, get yourself back into moving, but without having to go for an actual run and potentially making matters worse. If you struggle with balance, you can even hold on to a wall to begin with and just go through the motion really slowly. Where the 100 up really excels is as a means to improve your running form and thereby to improve your athletic performance. So the 100 up was actually developed by Walter George, who was a runner, and he used this allegedly to train himself to become a much better runner just in his downtime, and he went on to become highly decorated. You might be looking at the 100 up or the high knees and thinking that it can't possibly translate that well to running because the biomechanics are so different, because you're upright instead of leaning forwards apart from anything else. But actually, if you think about it, running on a treadmill has many of the same problems. When you run on a treadmill, the tracks move underneath you, so you don't actually have to push yourself forwards in the way that you normally would. What running on the spot like this does do is that it teaches you to keep your core upright and engaged when you're running, gives you the opportunity to practice keeping the rest of you nice and relaxed. Try relaxing the face to encourage the rest of your body to stay loose. This can reduce the chance of injury, improve your speed and certainly your endurance because it makes you more efficient. And at the same time, this lets you practice your hip stability as you transfer weight from one leg to the other one over time. The aim is to place the foot back down exactly where you lifted it up from. Watching someone perform this is a great way to spot any deficits. And because you're doing this for long duration in a safe environment, you can start to feel this become more difficult. As you're doing this, try and focus on where you're distributing your weight on your foot. Is it tilting slightly inwards or outwards? Or is it landing nice and evenly? And you can then use this as a way to improve your form as your strength endurance starts to wane, because that's when injuries happen. When you've been running a long time, your core starts to tire, your technique starts to suffer, and then something gets pulled or twisted. So by using the 100 up, you're just strengthening yourself and becoming more and more confident and stable in those positions, and this does translate to better performance. When you perform the high knees, that transfers even greater, because now you're able to practice pushing your feet off the ground extremely quickly and exploding. As a plyometric movement, you're practicing using the myotatic stretch response and returning energy to the ground as fast as possible, which of course has great transfer to sprinting. In particular, when you do this, you're strengthening your tendons and improving ankle stiffness. So normally when you sprint, your calf is actually not as involved or doesn't use as much of a concentric contraction as you might think during plantar flexion. So it's not so much about your calf moving your foot, rather your calf maintains an isometric hold, and then it's the tendon that is now pulled taut and it returns that energy and springs you back across the track. And that is why ankle stiffness is so important for athletes. And like the burpee, one other thing that I really like about high knees and 100 ups is that you can combine them with all kinds of other exercises and all kinds of variations if you want to gain even greater benefits from them and create a kind of like athletic flow. So for instance, you can combine them obviously with burpees, perform high knees or 100 ups in between each repetition. Alternatively, you can just combine high knees with push-ups. Do a few high knees, drop to the ground, do some push-ups, get back up and do high knees. And this is really great for people who want the benefits of the burpee, but who don't like that jumping motion, which can be a bit hard on your back if you have any existing problems there. At the same time, you can combine it with different kinds of footwork. So for instance, you can do it with 45-degree bounds. So you can split it up with skater hops. Skater hops are in the frontal plane, moving side to side, and so this is a great way to practice that. And this can strengthen the IT band and prevent pain and injury there, because a lot of the problems we get are from repetitive use of a single movement in a single plane. Whereas if we mix things up and move about, then we can keep the body strong in all positions and ready for anything. And if you're more interested in strength and strength endurance, then one really cool variation you can use is you can grab 2 kettlebells, hold them in either hand, or grab 1 kettlebell and hold it in one hand, and then you can perform the 100 up almost like a farmer's walk. So it's a loaded 100 up. This is a really cool way to get many of the same benefits as a farmer's walk or loaded carry. You're strengthening the traps. You should maintain a very slight raise in the traps. You're strengthening the grip, of course. At the same time, you're building even more core strength, even more hip stability, particularly if you place the weight just on one side. Make sure to train both sides the same, of course, because now you're using anti-lateral flexion to prevent yourself bending that way. This burns more calories, builds a lot of usable strength, and it's something, again, you can do anywhere. I thought maybe I invented this movement, but then I posted it on Instagram and loads of people were like, yeah, I do those too. So let's say we all invented it. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's why I love the 100 up. It's something you can do anywhere. It's an extremely portable movement. It's suitable for every single level, and it can be used to burn calories, improve fitness, encourage recovery. It can enhance athletic performance by improving your explosiveness and your tendon hysteresis. All these things, the 100 up is extremely underrated, and especially when you combine it with other movements and mess around with what you can do with it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you use the 100 up or high knees? Are you going to now? And what other deceptively simple exercises do you know? I shared another one recently on my blog, thebioneer.com, and that was the reverse plank. So if you want to know why I think that's awesome, then you can check out that article as well. If you did find this useful, then please leave a like and share it around, comment down below, and subscribe. All those things help me out immensely. And I'd just like to take this opportunity as well to thank you for all your support on that elbow video that I had to re-upload. So many of you commented for the algorithm, and it helped out immensely. It actually meant that the video didn't suffer that much in terms of view count in the end, which is obviously fantastic. So thank you so much, guys. That was humbling and just really cool of you all to do. Have some other exciting news for the channel. I've recently made the decision to go full-time here on the Bioneer. I packed in my freelance writing a few months back, and I'm now stepping down from my contractor position at Android Authority as well, which is bittersweet because those guys are really cool and I have some really great memories and had loads of cool opportunities. But you know, running the Bioneer full time has been a huge ambition of mine pretty much since I left university, which was like over 10 years ago now. So can't believe it's finally happening. And I'm super excited. I've got some like real life stuff going on at the moment. Things haven't been that normal, but once that gets back to normal and once I've worked my notice, you can expect more content, more interactivity, and big announcements here at the Bioneer. So stay tuned for all that. And thank you guys so much, because again, none of this would have been possible without you all. And I can't believe it's happened, to be quite honest. So thanks for enjoying the content, and I hope you'll stick around for what comes next. Final little bit of news is that I am going to be doing a new back caves and home gym, home office video soon. So if you'd like to share pictures and videos of your own home back caves, your own home offices and home gyms, then please head over to the Facebook page. The link will be in the description down below. There you'll find a post. You can share your images on there. Members of the Patreon only Bioneer group on Facebook have already shared theirs, and there's some really cool stuff you guys have. Those will definitely be getting a place, and I'll share as many of yours as possible in that video as well, and we can inspire each other to create more awesome spaces for training and working. So yeah, look forward to that one. And one final bit of news, I finally had a haircut. If you like training in a functional manner with a real world transfer, then check out my ebook and training program, Super Functional Training. This is a program designed to build everything from mobility and strength to agility and even brain power. There's a link in the description down below, and it's on discount right now while we're all struggling with the pandemic. You could alternatively read my print book, Functional Training and Beyond. This is a detailed introduction to functional training and what the human body is capable of, aimed at the general population. So yeah guys, thanks so much for everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.